And so I went out to that demonstration.
And this was the Gaza aid flotilla of ships that were coming to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza.
Yeah. And, well, the PA kind of closed the demonstration down from Ramallah, but we continued it at the Kalandia checkpoint, which is between Jerusalem and Ramallah. So, and from there, I guess I had this notion that because we were protesting deaths, that somehow that tear gas wouldn't be used in that kind of manner. I thought maybe it would be more of a, I don't know, quote-unquote Israel proper kind of demonstration where they don't use the same kind of violence against demonstrators, but I was mistaken.
Give us a sense of what would actually happen in terms of how many people were there at the protest. What was it, largely of Israelis or ISM folks, or was it Palestinians? And then what transpired, in other words, from the beginning of the protest to the time that they began firing the tear gas canisters?
Well, of course, it was a Palestinian organized demonstration. There were mostly Palestinians there. There wasn't that large of a group when I was there because it had we had packed up and moved from before where there were more people, and there were a few Israeli peace activists, and I was there with a friend from ISM, and I think there were 2 other people I had just met who had just joined ISM who were also there that morning. And what was it that you wanted to? And
then what happened just before, in the period before the Israeli soldiers began firing their tear gas canisters?
Well, Jonathan Pollock climbed up on this fence and put a Palestinian and Turkish flag up at the checkpoint.
And he is another ISM?
No, he's an Israeli peace activist.
Oh, the Israeli peace activist.
And after they had put the flags up, the border policemen came and they took the flags down. And at one point, a few Palestinian boys by the wall started throwing just trash from the ground. And at that point, the border policemen started firing tear gas.
And where were you?
I was this kind of area where there are a few barricades. It's hard. I don't know. Hard to say without a map, but here's the wall right here. Here's Kalandia checkpoint. I'm somewhere over here.
You're standing in a group of people, and you saw them starting to fire?
I didn't see them firing. I saw it starting to land, and so I was trying to find out where it was coming from so that I could get away from it. But it must have been very close because felt like there was no time between it landing, between seeing it and landing for you to actually find out where it was coming from.
I think one of the articles that was written afterwards quoted you as saying to a friend, "I didn't expect to have this kind of trouble at this. Maybe I should move away from here," or something like that.
Well, I noticed that it was starting to get dangerous, and I had just, started talking to my parents, and really, they were just saying, Emily, just please don't do anything dangerous. And there I am, and I'm like, this is getting dangerous. I told my parents I wouldn't do this. Oh my gosh. So it was one of those kinds of moments. So a little kind of crunch, and then that was it. So.
What do you mean, a kind of crunch?
I don't know. It was just sort of a bizarre sensation when it hit me in the face.
Did you understand what had happened?
Yeah, I didn't lose consciousness.
What happened then?
Well, at that point, I was, I think this is who had done this. This woman, Narima Tamimi, I think that's her name, and she came and ran into the gas and the firing and grabbed me before I could reach the ground. And she has this little magical backpack with all these medical supplies, and she put gauze on my face, and she got all these other people there around me, and they brought me on a they brought me on a truck and they rushed me into the Ramallah hospital, and from there, I guess, yeah, there's history.
So you were brought first into a Palestinian hospital?
Right, in Ramallah, yes.
And then?
And then I was transferred to Hadassah Hospital. I went on an ambulance, and then, of course, I had to go on another ambulance because we had to go through the checkpoint.
What do you mean?
Well, because a Palestinian ambulance can't pass through the border because Palestinians from the West Bank aren't allowed into Israel. So they took me out of that ambulance, put me in another ambulance, and then continued the journey to Hadassah.
And the treatment that once you got to the Hadassah hospital, did any Israeli officials try to question you or try to detain you at all?
No. I mean, try to detain me? I mean, I don't think that I had done anything criminal by being injured, but instead...
Your dad came?
My dad did come.
He's a doctor here in the United States.
And he spent the whole week there with me in the hospital, and a lot of people came to visit. I know that Naiman wanted to visit me, but she couldn't, of course.
The woman who at first
Yeah, I think that she is such a... I mean, she's a real hero. And she... she's from Nabi Saleh, and because it's Area C and they don't allow a lot of the building permits in that area, there's a demolition order on her house, and she has to go through all this stuff where she is constantly fighting this and not getting, and like so many Palestinians, not really getting a voice about it. And I was there in the hospital, and so many people just came and showed me so much love. Some of the people from Sheikh Jarrah came, and just a bunch of my friends and everything, and it was great. Yeah.
What kind of response have you gotten from the Israeli Jewish community and the Jewish community here at home?
I guess it's mixed. I did anger a rabbi, I suppose, but I think that like some of the people that I've talked to understand that I'm coming to this from a humanitarian standpoint, and that because the Holocaust memory is third generation for me, I can distance myself from that that urgent need for a Jewish homeland and that kind of feeling of insecurity, and I can look at the situation and see that there are some basic inequalities going on. Emily,
you're an artist.
Yes.
Since as long as you can remember.
Basically, yes.
You have been drawing. What does it mean to lose your eye?
I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint it. I'd always been so fussy about my eyes. I always wanted my prescription to be perfect, and I was scared of getting LASIK surgery because I didn't want anything to happen to my eyes. Because I am a visual artist. I'm always like observing things and drawing about what I'm observing. But I have realized that you only really need one eye. And it hasn't stopped me from being able to do my work, from walking around and just being a normal person. In a way, I have this kind of new appreciation for depth because everything is a little bit, because now that my depth perception is weakened, it means that when I'm looking at something two-dimensional, I don't have that stereo cue to tell me that it's actually two-dimensional, and I can appreciate it more for its three-dimensional qualities. So that's kind of nice. But
today you're not wearing glasses, but no. You have painted over your glasses on the where your left eye was.
Right.
describe your glasses to us.
You know,